really weird. Maybe it was just a stress response. Okay, so I know we have one more dog, but does this make a difference?
It does.
Okay. So most of your dogs aren't reactive here. Well, honestly, I think probably one of the only dogs that we struggle with reactivity is the one coming up right now. So if you guys find today that your dogs aren't reactive, it might have a lot to do with my environment. But everything I'm teaching you today is how you would handle a situation if they were reactive. So regardless of how well your dogs perform today, you're still going to take all these tips with you home. Regardless of even if they're perfect, you go, well, this didn't, they're great. How am I supposed to take this home with me? It's all the same stuff, okay? So let's wait for Jax to get up here and.
Yeah, she was just slowing down even more. Great job.
Okay. So I was kind of like trying to figure out what we're going to do because we have so many reactive dogs here. I'm like, usually I tell you guys to create space, right? Like, create space. But when you have this many dogs in one place, it's actually very hard to create space. So I think just I'm going to kind of do what I normally do when I train and just kind of go with it and see how it goes, okay? So I think for starters, what I want you guys to do is everyone is going to walk 5 steps in towards the field and then just immediately take your dogs back to place. And you guys can do this over and over and over again. And Hillary and I are going to be the eyes. Hillary's going to come and help you guys too. And we're just going to start kind of fine-tuning things as you go. But as a starting point, what I want to do is have everyone try to walk into the middle of the field, just 5 steps, and then back to place. So you guys can start whenever you're ready. Good. This is overwhelming. I feel like good. And just repeat. Good. Great job, Sandy. Good. Alright, so Sandy, what I want you to do now is to walk towards the road and create some more space. And then bring him back to his place board. I want you guys, you 3 are doing the best right now, so I want you guys to take 7 steps in, 7 steps back, to try to close the space a little bit more. Blown away by you guys. Great job, Sheila. So Sandy, now that you have him, so that's what you're going to do every time he escalates, okay? You're going to take him back all the way over there, and then take him back to place, let him wind down a bit, and then try it again. Good job. I kind of want to make an adjustment here. Everyone get their dogs back on place. I want to... Hootie. I think I want Hootie. Did you take the nose thing? Bring Hootie up. And that leash makes a huge difference, doesn't it? I'll show you. I'll make sure to show you. Go ahead, put him in a sit. And then I'm going to have you... I'll move the placement for you, but we're going to move Manuka over to this other dog over here. Here's... And I need you to be very careful with Hootie, because Reggie cannot have a dog run at him. But I'm going to have you stand right there. Pack dynamics, you guys. That's what's happening. This is the same family home with two doodles that live in the same home, and you can tell they're feeding off of each other. It's like, humans don't matter, we got each other. And when I first, well, there's actually a couple multi-dog homes in this group, but I always say keep them separate for a while, and that's actually why. They got to know how to react individually in high stimulating situations before they can do it together. So if you're still struggling with the two of them, I know it's more time consuming to break it up, but you're going to get better results if you can get them both to respond to stimulus individually the way that you want before you put them together. So that could be a huge component with any struggles you might be having with leash walking or leash reactivity, things like that. So now that the dynamics change, now this movement that I know we're not going to have a place for it in real life usually when you're on a walk. So this is just kind of a way to handle a class setting. But this is one of many movements I'm going to go over today that you guys should be doing when you see things that upset your dog. So whether it's a dog, a cat, a rabbit, or a person, you're moving towards it a little bit, but we don't want to cross over the threshold of tolerance into reactivity, so then we need to move the dog away. And I'm going to go over several different steps today, so you have lots of different options in your pocketbook for how to address a reactive situation. This is one of them. You move towards it a little bit. Everyone should be paying attention to their dog's drives. I know doodles are harder to read. Oh, Frank.
It's Frank.
Frank the rooster, he doesn't shut up all day. Can you hear him? Anyway, he's mad that I'm talking. It's like, this is my property. So with doodles, it's really hard to read prey drive because they have such fluffy heads. So when you guys are walking towards the middle of the field, like Axel and Jax and Reggie and even Nuka, they all are very easy to tell when they're in prey drive. And that's when you should be turning them. Even if you don't take the 5 steps. If their drive pops up, get out of it. With doodles, it's a head pop. So you're not going to be able to see the forehead and the ears. It's too big and fluffy, right? Right? How do you read drive when you have all that hair? So it's like this, guys. Like, I'm a doodle. Pop, that's prey drive. The head pop. Okay? So if you see that, turn and get your dog out of it. So I'm going to have you guys go back to the 5 in, 5 out. 5 in, 5 out. You guys look so good. Good. job.
Here?
That feel better, Sandy? You guys look better. Yep. You know, I'm noticing everyone's dogs started looking at everyone else's dogs, and now they're all starting to look more at you, which is what we're looking for, right? Pack drive.
Here?
Good. Nuke is doing great, Jennifer. So I want to try something else. I don't know how this is going to go. Does everyone get their dogs back on place? Does he need a power loop too?
She said when she turned the dad around, he was like cutting her off or something, so I was just gonna see what's going on.
Let's do a few more, guys, so that Clooney can get some reps. Let's go. Just keep going back and forth.
I think he has given himself a stomach ache.
Reggie?
Yeah, he's trying to eat grass like a horse.
He's doing really well. You guys been working on personal space? I can tell. I'm proud of you guys. I like your tights too. Go ahead and create space. Now, do you not want the power loop on?
He's got a sore on his nose that he's agitating.
All right, let's get everyone back on place or in a sit. All right. So this is what we're gonna do, and you guys, regardless of your dog's temperament, you have to really, really recognize that lots of dogs here are not friendly. They're struggling with leash reactivity, as you can see. So space is absolutely imperative for success today. But what we're gonna do is, with this, I don't want you guys to get any closer to the dogs around you, okay? And we're gonna walk in a circle together. So we're gonna walk in a circle. If any of your dogs act out, I need you to remove yourself from the circle. Right? So Hillary and I are gonna be really attentive. I'm thinking you maybe focus on this half of the field and I'll focus on this half of the field so that we can kind of alert to say, hey, remove your dog. But what that would look like is going towards that fence line, going towards the road, working your way into my rose bushes, which I know everyone wanted to do today, or headed towards the warehouse. If your dog lunges or pulls or freaks out, I need you to remove yourself from the circle, because you could end up congesting the area and making it more challenging. Moving in a circle together should help, because we're not doing the head-on stuff. Okay? So I'm going to count to 3. 1, 2, 3. When I get to 3, I want you guys to start walking. Let's go this way. Okay? So 1, 2, 3. Go ahead. You guys look unbelievable.
Boy, good boy. No, leave it.
And you guys are going to do one full circle and then return to your original place boards. Great job, Jennifer. going? Hopefully no one happened any poop. We tried really hard to get all of it today. Hey, good job. Watch it.
Her nose hasn't come off the ground, huh?
Good job, guys. You guys have made an enormous improvement since the last time I worked with you guys. No one had any issues. No one had to bail. But let's talk about a hypothetical situation, right? So the last thing we worked on was you're moving forward towards a dog, and all of a sudden your dog alerts, and then you have to move away from it, right? But there's also, I'm walking, and there's a dog on my side, and I need to bail and go directly away from them, which was what I was thinking might be created in that circle. It wasn't. That instruction I gave you to remove yourself from the circle, it plays in with the first activity too, which is when your dog is starting to show signs that they're above threshold, they need to be removed. They need to be taken away from it and brought back to it. Something as simple as that can prevent a reaction. So I want to try that circle thing again just because I think I'm really actually very impressed, especially with some of you here have made extreme strides since the last time I worked with you. But just kind of getting into that thought process of being aware of who's around you, being aware of your stimulus, being aware of how close things are to you, and being prepared to remove yourself from the situation if things get stressful for the dog or for you. Right? That's another key. Can you hear me? That's another key component to leash reactivity. It's not just about the dog's threshold, it's about the human's threshold. How do we feel? Because if you feel like crap, you're not going to be able to influence your dog. So if you're in the middle of you're walking and approaching a dog and all of a sudden you feel anxiety spike in your chest, you should remove yourself. Breathe. Get your bearings straight. And if the stimulus is still there, then go back to it and see if you can handle it now that everyone's calmed down. Does that make sense? Does anyone have any questions about that? Those are one of those situations where some people just want to move through it as fast as they can. You know, I'm anxious, my dog's anxious, there's another dog, let's just go, let's just go, let's just go. That's not how you create a successful moment with your dog. Forward movement is a reward. So by removing yourself, you're not moving forward into that threshold of craziness. You're moving yourself out of it, decompressing, and then starting over again. So I'm going to do that thing again where I count 3 and have everyone move in a circle. 1, 2, 3, go. Lots of space.
Leave it.
Oh, getting ballsy today, huh?
Well, he's kind of cute, so he can't open his mouth.
Hootie's doing great. He likes that. That power loop was a game changer.
They are great.
They are great, aren't they? It's just a nose leash. Do you want me to? We could switch him over to one. Keep moving though. We'll switch him over here in a second. We don't want you to get caught up with this guy back here. So like if any moment you guys were like, oh my god, this is a lot of pressure, I'm not comfortable, you would either stop.
Sorry.
You good? Oh, Tusk. Now everyone's going to be pissing on that bush.
He's like, did you need me to sit? Because I will.
Awesome. Everyone go back to their place boards.
We'll stop there.
Yeah, I think you need the power loop, girl. Either that or we need to put a prong collar on him. He's crazy.
I also think that Cody needs a power loop.
Leave it. I tried the prong collar thing with him, and he freaked out. He was like yelping at one. I don't know why.
Doesn't have a level.
I mean, like I had the e-collar plus prong
Oh,
collar,
okay.
and he would be yelping at like one or two. It was so weird.
Probably
Because it,
actually
Oh, it's not. It's metal, right?
it might conduct into
I was gonna
it.
say it might do that.
he has a prong collar. And it
Makes it more sensitive because it's under more control.
Right.
You know,
Jack,
Jack is less sensitive for you because hold on one second. Hold on one second. Quit moving. I'm just gonna go pee.
He's reacting to the crying. Not like crying dogs. Okay.
okay. They're like beam in that little hallway to get the power loop settled while I start the next thing. Okay. So,
What's the power loop? Is that what he's on?
power loop. Okay.
Honestly, me putting it on, as soon as I put it on, it's like he switches in his head. It's like, all right, I'll listen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. This is what I wanted to switch you guys over to because it has so much more control, but you guys are doing a great job. Doesn't look like he might not need it. But everyone, it's funny because everyone here has like a prong or a power loop, which is usually an indicator that we have more challenging dogs. We need a tool that gives us a little more control. All right. So, one of the things that I want to work on today is the left turn. The left turn into your dog. There is actually, like, probably not a technique in the world that diffuses a situation faster than a left turn. Now, a left turn can't happen if your dog is already 5 feet in front of you. So a left turn actually has to happen a little bit faster than some people want it to, right? Where the dog is not already escalated. So we can't actually practice this if our dog is in front of us. The dog has to be in a heel in order to accomplish this. But if you think about it, if these two dogs were to walk head to head to each other and start to alert to each other, that is actually the hardest, I think, dynamic to work with when you have the head to head. It's a lot easier to work with your dog when the dogs are like walking in unison with each other, or they're off to the side and you're trying to walk by one is to the side. It's a lot harder, as all of you may have experienced at one point, when the dog is coming directly at you. And so that left turn, what it does is it immediately switches their state of mind. So if I'm walking and I do a right turn, if you think about that, the dog's here and I'm doing a right turn. Look at all this space the dog has to fixate. But if I do a left turn, boom, right away, I'm getting the dog's brain out of it immediately. So I'm actually going to give you guys an example. I'm going to use this little turd. Hey,
He's trying to eat grass.
did you get a new prong? Come here. Okay. So, this is what you guys are going to do. We're going to set up a scenario where we're going to practice left turns. And what you're going to do is you're going to pull back on your leash because that's going to prevent your dog from bolting forward. When you pull back, and you're going to swing your right leg over the top and turn. So it's back, swing your leg, turn. Now if you think about that, right, look at all this space he has, which you know you're not supposed to do that with me. Think about all that space that he has to continue to fixate. When I do this, look at all that blocking that I get to do. So it's really eliminating the dog's ability to escalate and to fixate for very long. How many of you practice left turns? Well, look at you guys. You guys need left turns desperately. He's hard. He was hard for so long because he wouldn't walk behind you guys or next to you. He's always body length in front. And he's different today from what I see. So this is what I'm going to have you guys do. Thank you. We're going to do that same activity where we were moving towards each other, but instead of that right turn that everyone defaulted to, we're going to do the left turn. So I don't really my big thing about this activity is we don't walk the dogs head to head into each other. None of these dogs can handle that. But what I don't want you to do is take 5 steps just because I told you to take 5 steps. My guess is Jax probably needs about a step before you turn left. You know? Like, he's not like one of those dogs that's like, yeah, I'm in pack drive while I see all these dogs. He's like, I move forward, I'm already in that state. And the thing about allowing them to be in that state for too long is that they're going to explode. So I'm going to say 5 to 7 feet in, pull back, do your left turn, return to place, unless your dog shows signs of stress before then. If your dog is in prey drive and kind of alerting towards all these other dogs, you got to turn left right when you see that. Does that make sense? All right, go ahead. Great job. Good job. You know what I noticed about Axel? It's not even necessarily about his forehead wrinkling and stuff. It actually is just whether he looks at it. So if you get the look, I would turn. Good job. Good job. I'm proud of you guys. Seriously. Well, yeah. Yeah, it's his neighborhood, so talk to Sheila. She can be the first to relate to that one, huh?
Yep.
Good old territory. Your dog or an actual horse?
No, our main road in front of our house.
Uh-huh.
Dude's decided to start riding and trotting his horse up and down the street.
What the fuck? That's just, your neighborhood's weird. All right. You guys are doing great. Jax is a crazy mongrel. You guys, you're doing great, Sandy. Yeah, well, that's good. If you're ever like not certain where he's looking, just turn. You know, I think that's a really. Why don't you guys go ahead and put your dogs back on place? If you can get them there, Lizzie. I'm blown away by him.
He's being really good.
He's probably spent the most time here, though.
Yeah.
You know. When in doubt, turn. That's a huge piece of advice for anyone who is especially anxious about their dog's reactivity. Is if you're not really sure what they're doing, then turn them. That turn is unbelievably effective at de-escalating situations. So when in doubt, turn. If you're like, I'm not real sure if he's looking at me or not, and you turned him, oh well, that doesn't hurt anything. Just probably increases him looking at you if that's where he was originally looking. Okay, so I want to try. I'm like, I need a bigger field. I want to try. I'm glad we don't have 10 clients here today. I want to try a couple different things, but let's start with this. So what I want everyone to do is take a few steps off your place board in towards the field, and then I want you to turn your dogs away from the center of the field so that they're looking at you. So like if I'm a dog right here, your dog's butt should be facing me. Just like Hillary's nice butt. Yep. Okay. So this is where we can use silent e-collar work to enforce this and maintain it. And then this is another time where we can use our body to help us. So right now, what you're doing, Lizzie, you're trying to get his butt. He doesn't want to give his butt. Right? So you use your butt. There you go. Use your foot again. It looks like to me like he likes to use the zoomies when you are controlling him. Okay? So this is when we can actually use our silent e-collar work to find a number that's actually going to resonate with the dog and keep their center of focus away from the stimulus, right? So we put them in a sit, they're going to face us. Anytime they turkey neck and try to look into the center, we're going to do a tap-tap. Nope, you don't get to look into the center of the field. Does that make sense? Everyone on the same page?
Yep.
Okay. Now let's say you got your dogs like this and you do a tap-tap and they explode. Who would like to tell me what they would do next if I was walking the dog in the center of the field?
Move away from the center.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is have one of you at a time walk your dogs back and forth in the field. I'm going to tell you who and when. And it's your guys' jobs to keep your dog focus on you. If you cannot make that happen, you have all this space behind all of you to create space to make your dog's threshold decrease and become normal again. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's start with you, Cynthia. You guys keep your dogs. Lizzie, does that make sense? Because Jackson is the one that's having a hard time today.
I'm sorry, I was trying to listen, and so you say to tap in and you move the hands.
You gotta keep that butt facing where it is.
Okay.
If you don't, I need you to create space. And that, okay. So Cynthia, I just want you to walk to me. Good job, Lizzie. How much better is that? How much more do you like that leash? Okay, now go ahead and back towards Hillary. Yep. So you want to, we don't want Hootie looking. We want his butt. Yeah. And Jennifer, in your situation, if giving food she's doing great. She doesn't need it. But if you needed to take this component of the training elsewhere, you could give her food when she looks at you to encourage it.
That's why she looks at me.
We do use food in some situations to increase a good reason for them to pay attention to us. There's just some dogs in here that I don't think it would. Like Jax is gonna turn into a bat out of hell if you add food to the situation. Tusk isn't food motivated. I've tried to use food with Reggie. I've had to actually physically shove it down his throat. He will not take it in this situation. So it's really dog dependent, but Nuka does really well with food. All right. So now Nuka, I want you to have Nuka walk me and back. Everyone's butts are going to stay turned. Good. Good job, Cynthia. Keeping Clooney. Yep. Good job. You guys look really good. I think everyone's dog's showing off except Jax. Jax is like, hey guys, you want to see a hard dog? Let me show you. He's not doing too bad, Lizzie.
No, he's not.
He's not. I just had to make light of it because he's such a character. All right, so I'm going to have you walk towards me. So he won't get this back. Really? Yeah. The reason why back is because it's vulnerable. This makes them vulnerable to the stimulus. So if we can actually encourage them to turn their back to it and look to us, we are encouraging them to trust
That you will take care of it.
Sometimes we have to use our body to help manipulate. So if you're going to try to do this, and he won't, use your foot and block him so he can't. So when you head back to your spot, try that. If you don't have to kick him, you're just almost blocking his ability to manipulate and get out of that position. It's helpful. Loosen.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I feel like when it's over there, you can hear it. When you get close to the scene, you can hear you talking on it.
Luckily, I'm just naturally loud. All right, you ready? Sheila?
Yep.
It's going to be hard. All three of you. I know, right?
A lot. I practice with it every day.
You guys ready? I'm going to have you walk to Hillary. I can't believe what a good heel he's in right now. Is he doing this outside your property? Great job. This is such a good confidence builder for you guys.
Yeah, he looks great.
job. You ready, Sandy? So let's like, while Sandy's walking towards me, let's talk about a hypothetical situation. So let's say you got a dog walking towards you, and you're feeling a little trapped, so you decide to sit him facing away from the stimulus. All of a sudden, your dog starts to escalate. Like, say I were to get closer to Sheila with Axel, and all of a sudden Reggie's like, "Oh, I can't handle this." All Sheila really needs to do is just get a little movement going and do a little turn, and then reposition. Does that make sense? So right now, let's just say that happened. Reggie's like, I can't handle this. Sheila, go ahead and do a 360. And then get the dog resituated. Does that make sense? Yeah. So dogs are super awesome because they tell us when they're over threshold, right? They're like, I can't take this any longer. We don't keep dogs in sits when they can't take it. It will not work. So if you feel like the energy is building, you could do a left turn, a right turn, a 360, a figure 8. Just trying to create that movement to keep them engaged with you and not focused on the thing that's making them uncomfortable. And then maybe if they've calmed down a little bit, you can resit them. Good job. He's doing really well.
Yeah, he is.
Talk about personality.
He's got his listening sweater on today. Now he dressed up for the occasion. He sure is.
All right, you ready? Last but not least. So see, his forehead looks good right now. He's in a good tolerant state right now. Great job.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm just over this now.
Oh, his nose is cut up because he's trying to take the power loop off.
Yeah, it's bleeding so much.
Yeah, he being on the ground.
Okay. Good job, you guys. I know that everyone's probably like, this is boring, or I don't know, maybe you're enjoying it, but for me, personally, I've been around all these dogs enough to know that this is freaking amazing. And usually, when you put dogs in class settings, most of your dogs would probably be removed from the class setting. So the fact that they're all functioning today is quite neat. All right, I want to try something else. You guys still got brain cells left?
Yep.
Okay. So this is going to require all of you to really move a little further to the edge of the field. Okay? So all of you kind of try to reposition yourselves to the outskirts of this field. All right, I'm going to start with Nuka. Nuka, why don't you... And then I want Tusk out here. And I want Tusk to come right here. Okay? And I want you guys to practice doing walk-bys with each other. Okay, so you're going to walk up to here. You're going to walk down to there, turn 180, come back, and you guys are just going to work off of each other like that. Does that make sense? Okay, go ahead.
All she cares about is what the smells are.
Good. So let's say let's stop. Okay, you guys are in the neighborhood, right? You're on a walk. You got a dog on the sidewalk across the street. This is a huge advantage to have your dog away from the other dog, right? Huge advantage. But let's say your dog starts to turkey neck and point their nose across your body to look at that dog. Does anyone know what they would do in that situation? You guys are the best students ever. So I want you guys to follow that rule. It's almost like you're moving against your dog. They want to go towards the dog, move them away. The left turn in that situation is the best. So let's just keep going with this pair here. That's good though. You know what else really helps too? Is that you guys, I'm making you guys focus on a lot of different things instead of focusing on the dogs. And really when we focus on the other dog is when we get ourselves in trouble. So if Georgia right now decided to use all of her energy and go, oh my God, what is that yellow lab gonna do? What is that yellow lab gonna do? It only takes 2 seconds for your dog to explode. So if you're hyper fixated on the stimulus and not your dog, you lost your moment. You look at that, you see, oh my God, there's a dog coming my way. The first thing you should do is look at your dog. That's your first response. Does that make sense? Whereas you guys, like when I first started working with you, it was like, oh my God, there's another dog, which I don't blame you. That was a horrifying situation you were in. But I think there's been a lot of maturity and growth in this family away from that mentality. I think that's what's helping right now. How would you guys, what's your comfort level in trying to get a little closer to each other? Huh? He did. Braxton's like 8 feet tall now, so he's like, yeah, I can do anything now. Left turn. Look at him. Look where his nose's point is. There you go. How did we bring everything in the world but not poop bags? Oh, okay.
I got extras too.
So see, you're gonna want to pay attention to him. If that head starts to pull towards that dog, that's when you do that left turn. I want you to go back and forth a couple times just to pay attention to that. Hopefully this video is not just like my back. Good job. I just want to do one more set of back and forth. See if we can just close the gap just a little bit, not too much. We don't need to have them side by side. Great job, Braxton. And you can go back to your spot and create some space. Good job. It's hard to believe all these dogs are reactive. I know. Yeah, see if you can create just a hair more space, and you can even move the placeboard if you want to have them go into place. I'm trying to find compatible, huh? Sure. I think he's all right. All right, I'm trying to find good matches here. Let's do Reggie and Clooney. So why don't you come over here, and you can stay on this line. I have no idea if this is a good pair. I have no idea. But I know that Jackson and Reggie might turn into a shit show. Job. Left turn. See how he's turkey necking? There you go. Good. Now I want you to try to stay like not veering in to Reggie, but well, I know you're paying attention to Clooney, so you couldn't see it. Okay, so let's talk about one more situation. All right. So we talked about the left turn in that one scenario, but you might have to do a right turn right there. Did you see Sheila do that? I like to think of this as a dance. And I'm leaving. Alright. That's what happens. Happens in our garage, too. You have some? Oh, we do have a poop scoop. Oh, don't apologize for your dog. A poop scooper. So I like to think of this as a dance, right? Dog is gonna go left, I'm gonna go right. If they're gonna go left, I'm gonna go right. If they go right, I'm gonna go left. So I'm leading, and my dance partner keeps getting out of position. So I'm gonna counteract that by pulling them back into the position that I need them to be, and then going the opposite way. So you're gonna be playing like an opposite game with them constantly. They go left, you go right. They go forward, you go back. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Great job. Awesome. There we go. I like it. We're getting just a hair closer. Proximity is an issue for all dogs. You guys look great. What a game changer, huh?
Yeah, he doesn't like that thing. Ooh.
He's like, I'll just lay down.
What?
Hootie.
Good. Good. Have you guys been working on this?
No, except for with that other dog we have in the house.
Cool.
So I guess we have been working on it, kind of, because we have to.
Why don't you guys head back to your places?
Go back.
Try not to walk into each other, though. All right. I'm like, so now we're going to do Axel and Hootie, and who the hell are we going to work Jax off of? I think Nuka's probably going to do you twice. Do Hootie and Axel now. And you'll stay on this side of the field, and Axel will stay on this side of the field. That works. So if your dogs start to kind of turn their head over your leg, you're going to do that left turn. Now watch you guys turn and go back towards each other. If your dog looks at the other dog, this is the angle where a right turn would be super beneficial. Awesome. Or you guys could just be perfect and we don't have to practice anything. Cool. I think Hootie just needed a power loop, huh?
Amazing. What do I do? It's
See,
amazing.
right, left turn. There you go. But it's not so much about the stimulus, though, is what does your dog do, right? So again, stimulus presents itself. I look at my dog. I don't look at the stimulus. And Axel's like, I feel like almost sneaky. He's like, no, I'm composed.
No.
And then you're like, turkey necks. Good right turn. Good job. Now do a left turn this time. That way you're turning him away from the dog. There you go. Good job. You're doing really well. Don't walk towards this dog, though.
Yep.
Good job, Sheila. So try not to get too close to the Doberman with Hootie. So what she's doing is figure eights, you guys. And sometimes it's frustrating because you don't feel like you're getting anywhere, but it's actually working because he's trying to escalate towards Hootie. So really sometimes it just doesn't matter the movements that you have to make to try to prevent the reaction, right? It's like we're not in a rush to walk by it. We just don't want a reaction. Great job. Sandy, you handled that really well. But was like that moment of frustration, right? And I understand, because I've been frustrated with Axel too. You know, his nose is longer than my chin.
That's the problem we have.
But you handled it really, really well. So even if
Your handling of it
is great.
But I just feel like he can never get anywhere on a walk.
Well, he's how old?
Almost 2. Well, he'll be.
He's a year and a half?
Yeah, he's a year and a half.
So large male breeds don't mature until they're 3. So I wouldn't expect a dog to walk really, really well until they're mature anyway, right? Hootie? Hootie's a great example of that too.
Doing circles in front of my house for about 4 months.
Yeah.
Same here.
Up and down the driveway.
So yeah, we all want to walk our dogs, right? But sometimes we have to do things that are more beneficial for them, even if that means not getting anywhere.
You know what I do? I pick him up on the monument before dawn, and I have him on a 15-foot leash, and I just park in one of the pull-ups, and we work.
That would be a great time to practice a lot of recall.
Yeah, we do a lot of left-hand turns.
Oh, good call, Hillary. Cool. All right, you guys can go back to your place. So even if you don't feel like you're getting anywhere, it feels a hell of a lot better than having a dog bark. So just be patient and know that you guys walk a lot further than some of the other clients in this class. I think it's just a matter of taking your time when that stimulus pops up to not rush through it and just keep, you handled it great. He wanted to react that whole time. So now I want to do Nuka and Jax again. I do want you to keep your space. This guy's a tough one. But I think this is a good pair for him. So why don't you come up here and wait for her to turn and face you, Lizzie. Wait 1 second. And now Lizzie's in a situation, kind of Sandy, what you were saying. Yeah, you can keep his back turned. That's great. It worked well for him. Is, you're like, I want to get somewhere. Like, she's such an example of you can't get anywhere the dog's not ready to go. Just turn Jax off. I want you to turn him any to. All right, go ahead. Now, if he does this towards the other dog,
Yeah.
left turn. Now, when you're this way, and he looks at her, right turn. There you go. Good job. You're dancing with him. Now, I'm not a good. After all this work, and I'm still not even a good dancer. It's bullshit. No, space, girl, space. Like when you turn in circles, sometimes you don't know where you're at. Great job. That is exactly it. Because it was Tusk that time. Great job. Look at him. Well, he started to. Did you see how he started? He's concerned about everyone getting water now. Good job. Good. Yeah. There you go. Good job. You straighten him out. Good. Luke is doing so well. She's a show off. I think everyone wishes they didn't have to do circles, so watch for your proximity here. There you go. to do today is fence lines. I imagine a lot of you struggle at fence lines. And let me tell you, it's very hard for dogs. The energy that they're receiving from that fence line is very hard for them to just casually walk by. So, because I can't really emulate a fence line and we're in a group setting, I just want you to take everything that you learned today. Will you create a little more space for her, Lizzie? Thank you. So everything that you learned today applies to fence lines. And actually, this particular session, this particular thing where we're doing back and forth, this dog on the other side is the fence, because you have to parallel it. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
So, the difference is that none of these dogs are sharing energy with the other dog that's going to make it worse. How do you feel, Lizzie? Good. Let's go back to our place. That's fun. Yeah, he needs a line on him at all times for sure. He needs a line on him. Yeah, I think he just needs one for a while, because every time you get yourself into a situation where you can't make the recall happen, he's learning that that's a possibility. And I know it's more of a pain in the ass, but it won't get you off-leash reliability. So I'm starting to fade. My brain's starting to go to poop. Does anyone have any questions about any of this and how to apply it to a real-life situation? Does this make sense to everyone?
No, this was good, Erica, and this is like a piece that I have been missing because I don't get to handle him around dogs in a controlled environment ever.
And it's such a positive confidence booster.
Yeah, it is.
Like, I feel more confident for all of you today.
Oh, I agree. It's been awesome.
Cool. Well, maybe I'll do it again.
Yeah. So the fence line thing, if we're coming up and there's a dog on the other side and she's starting to react, I can turn and just...
So let's talk, this is a great question. I don't think everyone can hear me as well, so I'm just gonna move this to the center. But you're gonna use everything that we learned today at that fence line, right? But I want to talk about how sometimes we have to close the gap, even if we don't pass the fence. Okay? So let's say I have a highly reactive dog, and I'm passing the fence line, and they just can't. They're just having none of it. It's just too much. They're losing their shit, and I'm doing all the stuff that I told you today. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work like that first part of that fence line until the dog calms down, and then I'm actually gonna leave the situation and end on a good note.
Okay.
And then what I'll do is I'll go back to that fence line and see if I can't get further the next time.
Okay.
And so when we have a dog who's really showing a lot of intolerance and like some of the methodology is not getting through to them, sometimes what I need to actually do is back off and just, with as much proximity as needed, capture a good moment, come back the next day, do it again. And what you'll notice is that memory retainment at the fence is going to say, hey, the last time I was here, it didn't go so bad. I think I feel a little more confident, because a lot of it's insecurity. I mean, gosh, can you imagine if all of you guys were going on a walk and you had someone going, hey, get off my property!
Right.
You know, it's like, whoo, whoo. That's just crazy. That's what the dogs are feeling. So in order to kind of build that confidence, it's really more about success than it is passive go and you make it halfway,